Hey Majid, um, first of all, congratulations. You fought. I'm very, very proud of you. Secondly, I'm at my brother's house and they're doing a lot of remodeling. Like everything's being remodeled. So I'm in the kitchen and I'm gonna try and tell you a few things about chipping. Okay, so you have the club face and you have the path of the club. So this would be like a putter, this would be a 6-iron, and that would be a pitching wedge. Now, most players, if they change the angle of attack, that's the path the club is taking, and they try to get steeper, then the ball will start lower, but it doesn't actually change the amount of spin. So you would have, if you would come steeper into the ball, and your club, or this angle, the spin loft, does not change, you will have a ball that goes lower, but it won't have any extra spin. So that's a myth. That doesn't work that way. What happens is you've got what's called the gear effect. Now imagine my hand. This is the golf. My finger is the golf ball. Imagine if I would hit my finger like this. Now, what happens is the bottom part of my hand gets stopped or slowed down by my finger, and my hand will begin to do this. So if you hit a sand wedge and you hit it low on the blade, the bottom of the blade gets stopped, and the ball will leave with less loft. It will leave lower because you change your club face. This is the angle that you start with. Then this, I'm exaggerating, this would be the loft that you have when you hit the ball. Now, because because the club face is rotating like this, so imagine counterclockwise for you. If you have a gear, so that's two round things turning, if one of the gears turns clockwise, the opposite gear, the opposite round thing, will turn counterclockwise. So if you hit a wedge low on the blade, the club face will do this. It'll go from a lot of loft to not a lot of loft. But that will mean that the ball will want to rotate more. So if you have a low shot with a lot of spin, it doesn't happen because you change the angle of attack. It changes because you hit the ball lower on the club face. Now, the opposite happens with the driver. If you want to hit the driver a really long way and you hit it on the top of the club face, so you have the sweet spot here. If you hit it higher on the club face, the top of the club face will slow down, so you will have more loft, means higher launch. And because the club face is spinning clockwise now for you, the ball will spin counterclockwise and you will have less spin. So that's the spin and the height thing. Now, in chipping, your left arm and your club, before you hit the ball, what you need to do is you need to make a decision how you want impact to be, because there's not enough time to change it, and there's also no need to change it because you don't have to hit maximum power. So before you hit it, you have to make a decision. How open do I want the club face? How much loft? How do I want the shaft to lean? Do I want to have my hands in front of the ball? Do I want to have them level with the ball, or maybe even behind the ball if the lie of the ball is quite good? So that's how you start. Left arm, wrist, club or shaft, and club face, you decide before you hit it. There's no time and no need to do that during the swing. Then you have to decide what you do with your shoulder. Now, if your shoulders are tilting, so your left shoulder is going up, the club will go down a little bit steeper. So if you suffer from hitting it too steep, so your divots are going too deep, of course, with the ball position being correct, It means that the impact will be steep. You'll be hitting a lot of deep divots. If you rotate, it means that the club won't come in as steep, and it will move, come in like this. Because if I rotate my shoulders, basically my left arm and my club want to follow on the same plane that my left shoulder is turning. So if my shoulder is going up, the club is going down. If I'm turning, it will be flat. Now, you have to figure out, before you hit the shot, what do you want your shoulders to do? Because they give speed to your left arm and your club. So you figure out and experiment, change. How do you want impact to be? Depending on whether you want a high floater or a soft stinger, you want to bump and run or whatever. You decide left arm and club. If you have the ball in the middle or left foot or right foot, you change left arm and club position, shaft position. And then start experimenting by moving your left shoulder through space. Experiment by rotating a little bit more horizontally, a little bit steeper. See what changes, how the impact changes, okay? Now make sure your shoulders don't stop coming close to impact or when you hit the ball. On a long shot, your body begins to actually slow down to transfer the energy to the golf club. On a short shot, whether you putt or chip, you have to continue the motion towards the target with your body, because if you stop with, let's say, your left arm or your shoulders, what happens is the club has momentum and then your wrists will break down. So make sure your left shoulder moves through space correctly, assuming you have the right ball position. You have the left arm and shaft in the right position, and start working on controlling the left shoulder. Forget about the wrists, forget about rotating. You don't need to do that because it's only a 15-yard chip. Say hi to everyone. I hope it helps, and we'll continue the chat.